Welcome to Session 8 of the UC Migration Webinar Series. I'm Rich Steves, Web Editor at TMC.
And I'm Alan Percy, Senior Director of Marketing at Audio Codes.
So we're coming into the final session here. How are we going to pull it all together?
Yes, exactly. Well, we're going to pull it together with some professional services. And one of the challenges a lot of businesses or partners have is the expertise to make all these things come together. As if you've been with us through the previous 7 sessions, you saw there's a lot of technology and there's a lot of architecture decisions that need to be made. And a lot of times partners are not necessarily 100% ready for that and they need a little help. So we're going to talk about professional services as it comes from Audio Codes and the capabilities and the process of going from soup to nuts in deploying Microsoft Lync with the guidance and help of the professional services group.
And who will be speaking on this important topic?
So joining us will be Bill Skinner. He's the Director of Professional Services for Audio Codes, and Bill's responsible for the professional services group and communicating the professional services capabilities for Audio Codes. In addition to that, too, we're also going to be joined again by Benjamin Tasato, from the Vice President of Professional Services from Conquest, who will be sharing how his organization has leveraged the professional services capabilities in a number of customer-specific applications.
Great. Sounds good. Let's hear what they have to say.
All right.
So, a couple thoughts on do-it-yourself. While we were putting the session together, was really sort of struggling with, how do we put together a metaphor that best matches people's personal experience with what they're facing with the UC environment. And I'm actually at home sort of struggling with some pool maintenance, so it sort of popped to mind, and maybe, actually the installation and maintenance of a pool is somewhat similar to the UC environment. And so we put together a couple slides here to sort of walk us through that, and you'll see how this actually matches here in a moment here. So, when making the decision to install a pool in your backyard, if a family gets excited about it, you have to make a couple choices. Certainly one thing you could do is you could do it yourself. You could do the whole thing soup to nuts. You could rent the equipment, the heavy equipment, to dig the hole. You could go through the trouble putting all the rebar and the plumbing and electrical in, and gunite and all the other materials needed to build a pool. But obviously, it's not something that everybody takes on. It really requires some very specialized tools, a ton of very specialized knowledge, and a lot of your personal time to complete it. And why would someone do this? Well, it's often the least expensive way to get a pool in the ground. It's kind of funny because I looked up on eHow and pulled up and said, how do you build a pool? And they said it was 4 easy steps. So I can trust me. I can assure you it's not 4 easy steps, but, for some people they have the skills and the tools, maybe that's the way to handle it. Another method, which is pretty much fairly popular, is, you outsource the entire effort. And this is, maybe we hire a professional pool contractor to do all the construction. You may even outsource all the seasonal startup and closing. You even maybe have a pool maintenance firm come in and do the weekly chemical testing, vacuum, and all the maintenance on the pool. And what's nice about this, of course, certainly, is you have no prior knowledge. You just basically jump in and swim, and you're on your way. Very few specialized tools. And unfortunately, as it turns out, it's not only expensive initially to have the pool installed, but also the ongoing maintenance quite costly. What's funny about this is really not how most people end up doing it. What they do is it's sort of a hybrid model, which is where you hire out the construction, you might even hire out the seasonal startup and closing, but most folks do their own weekly maintenance. They learn how to skim the pool, they learn how to do the vacuuming and test the chemicals, etc. And this is that balance point between fully outsourcing a project to handling it inside. And why do we make this kind of decision? This parallels very closely to what I see as the kind of decision you folks are facing with unified communications. You're making decisions about, do I spend capital up front expenditures, or are there operational expenses? What's the implication? Is it the operational expense is something I can handle, but the initial up front, what kind of time or how much time can we spend in the effort? And time is money, especially in UC, because the cost savings that come with UC aren't realized until you get your entire organization lit up on the UC platform. Control is an issue too. If by completely outsourcing the project, you don't necessarily have all the control that you wish you had over the project and over the infrastructure. And of course, the training costs. If maybe you didn't necessarily have all the skills to implement your UC platform, you might have to go out and either take the time or the expense to be trained on all those, when actually there might be somebody available that's not only fully trained, but also has done a number of these in the past and has the skills. And last but not least is, the specialized equipment, maybe some software and tools that you would need to do the initial implementation that wouldn't get reused or would infrequently be reused and would be quite costly. So these I see as being all the decision points that are part of that challenge in deploying it. And with that, I'm going to turn the call over to Bill, and Bill is going to share with you an introduction to professional services and the structure of the decision-making process that we see here from Audio Code. So Bill, why don't you take it from here?
Okay, thanks a lot, Alan. And I also wanted to thank everybody for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend the webinar. I hope that you also find it very informative. And as Alan suggested, if there's any sort of questions, feel free to post those, and then we will address those. I wanted to spend some time today to share with you my personal experiences with regarding the life cycle of any project, specifically the phases of